Hi, what if I told you that this is a fully valid C program? For a reference, this is how we normally display Hello World in C. We've got our include standard IO, int main, int argt, char to the power of RGB, a printf and a return 0, pretty standard. Here, on the other hand, we include cpl.h, which is a header file containing C libraries, grammar definitions using macros, and str.c, which is a library I made for C to make managing strings easier. But what are macros, you may ask? Macros are functions that instead of being code, replace its call with code defined in a macro. For example, we can make an macro args to automate getting command line arguments. Back in our Hello World program, we use the program keyword, which expands to int main, int argc, char to the power of RGB, open bracket. The program section ends with the end keyword, which expands to close bracket. PRT expands to printf and return to return. Functions are defined with the function keyword, like so. Function, followed by its type and name, expands to the type, the name, and open paren. Then we define the arguments like normal, but instead of using the C types, we use the CPL ones. Except for const. We love you, const. Please don't change. Lastly, the function body in between start and end keywords. Conditional statements are the same like in Lua, but instead of if, else, then, and end, we use if, else, start, and end. Note that the logic is the same as in C, so pretty much the only correct one. I'm looking at you, JavaScript. Say goodbye to fancy-smancy loop variants like while, for each, and until. Instead, there is loop. Just loop. However, some of you quiche eaters might ask, why not implement other loop variants? Well, the answer is pretty simple. Loop variants are abstraction that splits you from the actual thinking process behind a loop. When you can control everything about a loop, it is harder to make mistakes. But if you still insist on doing loop variants, as the language is a superset of C, you can still do your silly loops. Well, for now, our program is as useful as JavaScript. Let's change that by implementing the most useful piece of software ever, a height calculator. If your brain has as many brain cells as colors has the Rust Foundation's logo on this code, then let me explain. A height calculator is a piece of software that, given an input of your height, displays it. Can we just take a moment and appreciate how beautiful this code looks? We take an input using the input function, which is just a wrapper for scanf. It was made the same way as put, by stealing the work of almighty Dennis Ritchie and rebranding it as its more Pythonic self. You don't need to thank me, Ritchie. Believe me or not, this language is fully Turing complete, which means that you can implement any single algorithm you can ever think of. Well, that is it for today's video. Source code is in GitHub. Make sure to join my Discord. Link also in the description. I am Coding Pepper, and I still hate JavaScript.